Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Monday to each and every one of you. I just got out of the shower and I have been so excited to make this video because Ramaphosa is one of my favorite topics. If you go on my channel, you will basically see I talk about Ramaphosa more than anyone else. And the reason for it is he's an absolute clown. Like the man one or two things is possible here, right? So either he knows exactly how bad the ANC is and what a terrible president he has been, and he just lies openly about it. He just doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I'll just say this isn't true, and then I'll leave it at that. Or the man just doesn't have a clue. He just genuinely thinks that he's going to go down, remembered by history, as the man that saved the country, or at least, and that should be made very clear, before Ramaphosa was elected, or really when Ramaphosa was elected, he made it very clear that if it comes to a choice between South Africa and the ANC, he will always protect the ANC. So Ramaphosa isn't interested in, being remembered as the greatest president of South Africa, but rather the greatest president of the ANC, which, again, might just be debatable, at least at this point. While you're here, just hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because it really does help. Engagement, absolute key. And you can always just unhit those buttons if by the end of this video you go, man, I really hate everything you say. Enjoy. For those of you that don't know, the ANC is in full-blown panic mode. They have spent sort of the last, let's say, the last few weeks, really, has been spent by pretty much every single top dog within the ANC, from Paul Mashatile, Fikile Mbalula, and Ramaphosa, speaking at all of these different executive sort of gatherings of municipalities and provinces and so on and so forth in the country, just desperately trying to convince the ANC cadres, the criminal elements of the ANC, to just slow down their stealing. They're not really saying to them, stop stealing entirely, and we get into that in a second, but just slow it down. I will not subject you to listening to this man speak. I had the displeasure of having to listen to 14 minutes of this man harping on about nonsense because for some reason, I don't know why, it might be that he literally has to think of every single word before he says it because he can't think in full sentences, but it is grating to listen to this guy speak. He speaks so slowly and he's reading, so he should be able to do it faster. But anyways, no one should go more than a day without running water while there is a deafening silence from the municipal offices about when water will be restored. That's really condensing his entire 14-minute speech into what it is, right? He is just listing off reasons for how they're failing and how people are waiting. Electricity isn't coming, services aren't coming, sewage and refuse removal. Every single municipality in the country run by the ANC is downtrodden and completely being destroyed. And now we have this. The ANC just announced, that's literally 4 hours ago, that there will be a special roll call, right, that will go out after the special NEC meeting that they will be having. Now, again, I won't go through the entire article with you, but effectively, the NEC meeting that the ANC is calling is going to draft a new action plan. And then the action plan is what's going to happen at this roll call, where they're going to get all of the cadres of the country to commit to this. And he says, once adopted, the action plan will be shared with all ANC deployees, setting out clear, measurable tasks, both in government and the ANC. Municipal infrastructure in our country is showing significant decay and collapse in critical areas such as roads, water, and electricity. He goes on to effectively just make the point that, but it should be equitable. So again, the whole race nonsense that Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC just loves to double down on. Now, some of you might think, this sounds familiar to me. I've heard this somewhere before. And you wouldn't be wrong. The ANC had another one of these special roll call meetings in 2021 in Ekurhuleni in October, where 10,000, this is only 4,800, there were 10,000 local government deployees of the ANC at that special meeting, and they promised there that they will do better, that they will start working and fixing the country, and that this is priority number one for them. Now, Ramaphosa goes on to basically speak about how they'll be able to measure the success of their little action plan. Will people trust them again? Will services actually be delivered? And this is how they will know whether or not their action plan is working. And all I can say is this is indicative of communist governments throughout the world. They constantly have these 5-year plans or these action plans, if you will. The ANC is such a failed communist government that they can't even do a 5-year plan. Instead, they just do these action plans to try and fix it immediately. Because remember, the ANC isn't currently fighting for, they're not fighting for the national election or even to win back what they have lost. They're just fighting for survival at this point. And the problem that Cyril Ramaphosa is going to run into, the idea, because in this speech as well that I showed you guys earlier, well, I didn't show you because I wouldn't subject you to that. I'm not cruel and unusual in that way. But in this meeting, Ramaphosa, you can hear from Ramaphosa, there's an added level of stress. There's an added level of desperation and almost begging. We had Fikile Mbalula, I covered the video on Saturday, begging ANC Youth League members to stop trying to vie for political power positions, because right now that wouldn't be helpful. And Fikile Mbalula didn't say it in so many words, but you could listen to his speech and you could almost go, oh, wait, what you're trying to say is the last thing we can let the public see now is a government that is failing on every level, but vying for political power positions. So the ANC is so arrogant and so out of touch that while the country is falling apart, they're vying for who's going to be the next cadre to steal from the national coffers. And Ramaphosa, in his speech, and this is now, I think, the third or the fourth speech that I've heard of Ramaphosa, where the same trend holds, where he continuously, he becomes increasingly more desperate to try and get the ANC cadres to not steal all of the money in South Africa. What Ramaphosa doesn't understand is the system is already well beyond the point of saving. The ANC has become such a corrupt organization that any attempt to remove the corrupt element would ultimately lead to a complete hollowing out of the organization. Because any new cadre that now steps into a position of power will immediately ask, well, why can't I enrich myself? My friends were able to enrich themselves. I'm now in this position. I want to eat too. And if the ANC were to tell him, look, you can't eat now because we need to govern the country in a way that makes people happy, he's just going to expose the whole lot, because no one that is currently still in the ANC is there because they want to do a good job for ordinary South Africans. They're there because they want to eat. They want to eat. This is why Julius Malema left the ANC, because he wasn't able to eat enough and he started his own political party. This is why Floyd Shivambu left the EFF, joined the MK, and ultimately left the MK because none of them would let him eat enough. This is why Jacob Zuma left the ANC and started the MK party, because the ANC would no longer let him eat. Fundamentally, all of these people are just looking to make themselves rich, and they're sick and tired of Ramaphosa trying to interfere with that, because they can't put two and two together and realize that if you continue to eat the way that you have, the ANC will be dismantled and destroyed in the next election, but you will take the country along with you. There's a lot of arguments that we should, there's things that we should discuss. What does a South Africa look like after the ANC? I will make a video as well, probably today or tomorrow, talking about why BE is failing, because I've been doing a lot of research on it. And I think it's actually going to be surprising to a lot of you. So look out for that video. If you like what I do and you think more people should see the content that I make, please consider hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and leaving a comment, because it helps. Engagement truly is everything. Then massive shout out and thank you to all of the patrons and the YouTube channel members. To become a patron, link in the description down below, or just hit the join button below this video and I'll explain there why it's important for you to support the channel. As always, be good to each other, be kind to each other, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.